What is up, folks, and happy Saturday. It has been about a week since I've been out here to the ranch. It is day 20. It's Saturday afternoon, and a lot has transpired over the last week. I'll make like a really long story short. I did not go check if I needed a building permit to build something out here. I just kind of assumed, since it was out in the county so far away from town, that I didn't need to get one. I found out I was wrong. It's anything under 200 square foot you don't have to have a building permit for, and this structure was going to be a little bit over 400 square foot. So I kind of got to talking to my uncle a little bit, and I think we're going to recalculate what we're going to do here with this little structure. We're probably just going to go ahead and turn it into a little bit of a lean-to that's a little bit under 200 square foot, for a couple of reasons. One, I think that it would double, maybe even triple the cost that I would have to put into it to build it the way the city would want me to build it. Or I should say the county, city, whoever it is. Two, we'd have to put concrete down into the post, and the reality is I don't even know if I want this structure here permanently yet. I still have half of my property back here that I haven't even hardly seen. So I kind of would rather save my money and basically, save my money for something like a skid steer or a tractor that I can come in here and start clearing out some more land, more woods, and see if there's a spot farther back that maybe I might want to build, because I feel like when I build, I'm going to build something like this, and then I'm going to try to do some sort of a cabin or a house or something more permanent. And I'm so early in the process right now that I don't want to make this a permanent spot and then find out, hey, I would rather be back there 100 yards. So with all that being said, this is going to kind of go on hold for a couple of weeks. We're going to probably come out here sometime next week after I get off of work and kind of put together an idea for basically a lean-to, something I can get underneath when it's raining, something I can get underneath when it's hot, and bring my stuff underneath. So with all that being said, kind of back to the old drawing board on the structure here, which is fine. Most of this stuff will be really easy to get up out of the ground and move it to where we want to move it. So with that being said, today I am going to kind of start working on this little island over here coming up the trail, and probably weed eating down through here where I first kind of originally thought I was going to have my trail at. Now, I came through a storm on the way in. Again, I feel like meteorologists around here probably should just get on the news and go, yep, it's probably going to rain at some point in time. Because every time I look at the weather app, which I did right before I came down here, it was not showing any rain down in this area. But I drove through a big storm, big rain on the way down here. So I'm going to probably not bring everything out of my truck right now. If it does rain, I'm going to switch up my plan, and I'm going to start burning my burn pile here. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon, so I should have plenty of time to kind of get that burned out and gone. And if it rains enough and that's working well, I'll probably get my other little burn pile burned up out of here. But until then, I'm going to do a little bit of weed eating, and then I'm going to start trimming some trees off of this island right here. So here we go, day 20. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what kind of tree this is. I've been told a couple different things. So if you know, let me know. But it is hard, for one thing. It's really hard to burn too. Like, it has to be very dried out for it to burn. But all that you just watched me cut down basically came out of one stump and grew up in there. And I find them around pretty much all the trees. There'll be these little clusters of them. Like over here, there's another little cluster of them right there. Probably all coming from one stump, and they're a pain because they just kind of grow up and start, you know, getting entwined with the other trees and like choking them out, and all these little vines start growing down off of them. So anyway, I don't know what that is, but they're a pain. That's kind of why I cut that there, and eventually I'll probably come in with an axe because my Sawzall has trouble cutting through there. You probably really couldn't tell, but it was having a hard time cutting through that wood. It is tough. But anyway, I'm gonna take a little break. Then we're gonna weed eat this little area around the dead tree on the other side of here. And then I'll probably work all the way back down to the main trail. What that'll do is that'll leave me this little island here that if I make it out here tomorrow, I'll probably work on it a little bit. I'm convinced that the only thing tougher than this little weed eater that I've got is these vines down here. Those things are brutal, man. They just wrap up in everything, and they're just hard to knock down. But I've gotten this little area cleared out. Got pretty much all the way around this burn pit here, burn pile here. And I haven't really gone around there, but I'll probably do that tomorrow or the next time I get down and start working on this little area right here. But this was kind of the original trail I thought I was going to come up. But man, there's just like a ton of this big wood in here. And like this right here, that's still connected. And a couple of these other ones I think are still connected, but I felt like there wasn't near as much on that main trail I'm using now. But I need to get in here and get all the big stuff cleaned up, get it into my burn pile. That burn pile is going to be huge unless I can get it burned off. It didn't rain, so, or it hasn't yet. But anyway, we're slowly but surely getting her cleaned up. And like I say, I want to get this area cleaned up. Holy cow, I don't know what that is. I don't know if you guys can see that hole. I don't know if there's something living down in there. I guess I'm gonna find out once I get in there and start cleaning up. But anyway, it's about 5 o'clock now. And I think I'm gonna go grab these SIM cards out of these game trails. I've only had the 2 up and going. Mostly I haven't really caught anything on my other ones. These 2 back here have been hitting pretty hot. I caught a few on my Vosker, which I'll probably show like right now. that have come on in here, but it seems like since I cleared this place out, they've been coming in here a little bit more. And as you can see, I already need to kind of get to weed eating in here because it's already starting to grow up. But I'm gonna take a walk down this trail here, go swap out these SIM cards. I'm gonna unload the rest of my blocks that I brought some more bricks. I've got plans for that, and probably start wrapping things up. You can tell it's, I mean, I can tell it's been at least a week since I've been down here because I'm already tired. I haven't really felt like I've done much, but I've been all over the South this last week making sure folks got their fireworks. So 4th of July is right around the corner, folks, don't forget. But let's go get these SIM cards changed out and see if we caught anything. I like to bring my camera back here when I go and also do a little bit of talking because I'm always convinced I'm going to run across something back here. I still have not seen any wild pigs, and I'm glad about that. At the same time, I wouldn't mind seeing one from a distance just to see how they're going to act. Hopefully not too aggressive. I'd like it if they just ran away, but I've heard different stories that they can be pretty skittish and aggressive, and then they can also be real scared and just take off running. But I know we talked about this last time, but I'd like to get on back there a little bit farther. And that's kind of going back to talking about the structure I have back here, or you know, over here at the camp. I mean, who's to say I might not want it back here a little bit farther off the road and a little bit farther into the brush. I don't know yet, so I don't want to make anything too permanent. Let's grab this one. Forgot to grab my other SIM card, so I'll get those, come back and put them in there. Yeah, this is already, it's been a couple weeks since I weed eated back here, but it's definitely already growing up pretty good. That is just getting thicker and thicker by the day. This is where all the deer seem to be hanging out, so I don't know if they're coming from this way or coming from this way, but I hardly ever catch, I maybe catch them once in a while on this camera, but I see them almost every single time I pull this card. I've got deer on it, and there is kind of little grass growing in here, and maybe that's what they're coming in and eating. Let's see if we got anything. And oh, that's a big old spider web right there. I don't know if you guys can see that guy. I just about walked into him or her. But yeah, again, I'd like to start getting a lot of these little trees cleaned up. These are the same things I was talking about over there. They grow in these little clusters, 3, 4, and 5 off of the same root, off the same stump, and like, they're somewhat menaces if you ask me. But yeah, she's getting cleaned up pretty good, folks. 20 days in, and it's a big difference. I'm still kind of working on some if you will, before and after progression videos. Just had a lot going on at work. I'm in the fireworks business, so right now business is booming. Get it? Booming. Anyway, I'm gonna go swap out these SIM cards since I forgot to bring them with me, and then I'm gonna sit and relax for about 30 minutes, boys. I've been ready to get out here and just relax. just relax for like 30 minutes. Here we go. Well, I'm gonna rant for just a minute, and I wouldn't even call it a rant, just an observation, you know. But going back to this whole building code thing, getting a permit to build something, you know, it seems like back in the day, if you were outside of the city limits and you know, you were off the road a certain amount of ways, like, you could pretty much do whatever you wanted to do. You could build a deck or build a little pole barn or build a little shed. Nobody'd really say anything to you about it. And you know, like, I'm pretty lucky in my situation because we barely got started on this. But like my uncle, who I'm a little biased, but he's like a master carpenter and a perfectionist at everything, and does everything the way it should be done to make sure that it's a sound structure. And he got like well over 3/4 of the way done with his barn, and basically an inspector came out and wanted them to redo a whole bunch of stuff, and he did. He's working on it now. You know, but I think the problem that I have with it is how many places that I pass on a daily basis that I go, why aren't they going and telling those people they need to clean up their property a little bit? You know, houses that look like they're about to fall down, barns that look like they're about to fall down, and you know, get them folks out cleaning up their properties a little bit. I guess I kind of feel like, what do they care if I build something and it falls down? If somebody were to come in and buy the property and they didn't think it was a sound structure, or they didn't want it, they could knock it down. You know, I think that's one of the main reasons we didn't put any concrete in here, was if we wanted to move it at some point in time, we could take it apart and move it. I don't know. I guess what it really kind of seems to come down to is there's a few bad apples out there that have started doing stuff, and things have happened, and now it hurts everybody, you know. I wouldn't want to build something that I thought was just going to fall down. I wouldn't want to build something and just let it go to trash, and I know my uncle wouldn't either. So it's almost kind of like, it kind of sucks to a degree. I mean, again, I'm not very far in on this project, so that's all good. And we're gonna salvage it. We're gonna just build us a little lean-to, something I can get underneath and get out of the rain and get out of the sun and get my stuff underneath. And eventually I'm gonna come out here and do some camping, and I've got all these bricks out here. I'm gonna build a little fire pit and a little cooking pit, and you know, I'm still gonna enjoy myself out here. But I'm glad we didn't get too much farther, because if we would have gotten too much farther, that would have really sucked. But again, that's it. I try not to rant, and I try not to get overexcited about stuff. It's just, I was super excited. I think my uncle was super excited that we got to this point to where we're at right now, with the post in the ground. And this weekend, you know, really tomorrow, we were going to start wrapping it with some wood, and now we're going to kind of go 2 steps forward and 2 steps back, and we're kind of going to get back to scratch. But that's okay. We're going to make it happen. And you know, I'm excited. Day 20 out here at the ranch. I've got it pretty good and cleaned up right now in this little area up here. Able to get my truck back here now without too many problems. I've got this little island I'm going to work on over here, and I got a couple other little projects I want to work on building. I'm going to basically use some of these posts that we're going to pull out of the ground. I'm going to use those for a little table for a rainwater collector, and I'm going to use some of the 2x4s to hopefully build At some point in time, I'd like to build a little platform for like a hawk or an eagle. There are a couple eagles around here, golden eagles I think they call them, but and just kind of have a couple little things for nature and all these deer that I see out here. Like, look, I'm not really a hunter. I love nature. At the same time, if the world ended up going to crap, it'd be nice to have animals that were comfortable coming into my property so that I knew if I needed to eat, I could eat. And like, that's kind of what the rainwater collector's for, because there's no real rainwater out. There's no stream or lake right here on this property, so I need to be able to collect water so that I have water for cooking and washing my hands and whatever else. But that was the other thing about putting concrete in these posts, is like we would have to figure out a way to transport water out here so that we had enough water to mix up concrete. But anyway, that's the end of my rant. For everybody that's hanging in there and watching this, I absolutely appreciate you. Appreciate the new couple subscribers I've got. It's been a week since I've been out here, but I got a week before the 4th of July is over, and I'm really hoping after the 4th everything kind of start calming down a little bit, and I'll be able to spend a few more afternoons out here and definitely the weekends out here. And I've got some vacation time coming up, so I feel like when vacation time comes, I just might get me a skid steer or some sort of tractor and come out here and probably start working my way that way to see what's going on. I'm probably going to leave everything at the front the way that it is, just let it kind of grow in and conceal this back here a little bit, just so I can get back here and relax and have a little bit of privacy, and one brick at a time, folks. I appreciate you. Sorry for the rant. We'll talk at you later.